Finally, from the Milesian school, the boys from Miletus, we get Anaximenes, the student of Anaximander. Now, Anaximenes says everything is composed of what? It's composed of air. And that might seem to be a step in the wrong direction, back towards Thales, away from science, but I think we can explain it. But the next thing that he does propose really makes a lot of sense. That is, he explains the process of change. That is how one apparent kind of substance changes into another, and he does that because he claims there's this continuum, kind of a whole spectrum, a line of things. That is, they're not really different, but they do appear to be different because there's a process that changes them. Now, Anaximander had a process, right? He says there was some kind of war of opposites, but that really doesn't explain a whole lot. But rather, what Anaximenes brings to the table, or brings to us, is he develops a process that's explained by some kind of forces. Condensation, being squeezed together, something condenses, and rarefication, making it rare, spreading it out. That is a process that explains how things in this continuum change, right? You spread out the air, you blow on it like you're starting a fire, and you get a fire. You compress the air and you start getting wind. You're sitting on the beach watching the air getting compressed. The wind comes across the clouds, gets compressed a little bit more. It starts seeing clouds and water. You get rain. It happens to be a rainy day, so I'm seeing this going on. And then the water gets packed together. And what do you get? Earth. And when you pack it all together, maybe they apply a little heat, they'd get stone. They get some brick-like substance going back and forth, so there is an explanation. Now, this is significant. The first significance has to do with air. And the air is really sort of a theoretical-like entity, right? If somebody said, would you go bring me a glass of air? Or I'd like about 2 or 3 units, whatever the units are, 2 or 3 gallons of air. It's not something you can carry around in a jar, in a basket, and bring to somebody. So of all of the kinds of substance in the spectrum, that's one that's most like a theoretical entity. But really, that's where he's not taking a step forward. But what's really significant is that he has an observable process that explains how things apparently change, even though there's only one type of substance. So he has this explanation, this process that explains how things in his spectrum of things that we see are changed one into the other, but they're still the same thing.